The Google Pixel 9 Pro has so many cool new features, and I got the very best tips and tricks for it that you can do a lot of cool stuff with. Okay, so starting with 3 settings that you must turn on straight away. So inside the quick settings panel, if you tap and hold down onto this auto rotate option, turn this on, but then also make sure you turn on face detection. Now, how this face detection works is it uses the Pixel's selfie camera to detect the position of your head and if it should rotate the screen or not. Like, this is really useful. Then another setting you must turn on is inside settings, then display and under lock screen. In here, if you scroll down, make sure that your always show time and info is turned on. Now, why this is so important is because when you go into security and privacy and then device unlock, in here, if you set up a fingerprint, which only takes a couple of minutes really, you'll notice that if you don't have the always on display on, you can't instantly unlock your Pixel. You first have to wake it up and then you can unlock. But if you have your always on turned on, you can then see exactly where the fingerprint reader is and instantly unlock your phone without having to turn the screen on. It's just so much better. Then one last setting you must turn on before we get into the juicy stuff is in notifications. So in here you'll find flash notifications that you can choose to either have as the camera flash, screen flash, or both. And for the screen flash, you can even choose a different color. But you guessed it, whenever you get a notification now, your camera's LED and your screen will flash to let you know you've got to check your phone. Alright, now that you've turned those on, let me show you some more sick new features on this bad boy. Okay, you guys might not believe this, but screenshots got a massive upgrade. So if you go into the Photos app, you'll still find all of them under screenshots, but now you'll also find them in this brand new Screenshots app. And what's so cool about this app is you'll notice when you open up a screenshot, there's actually a small description right underneath it explaining what's in the screenshot. And if you tap and hold, then drag, you can select any of this text and instantly copy it, which is pretty handy, but maybe not as handy as being able to search through your screenshots. So if you search for memes, for example, all the screenshots you've taken of memes will quickly show up and then you can browse through all of them. But what I really like about this app is if you tap the plus, then this camera icon, you can actually take some quick pics of receipts, for example, and the screensaver app will then show you all that information from the receipt right below it, which I'm not gonna lie, is just so nifty. You can also create collections, basically albums of your screenshots. So whether that's tech receipts, maybe Amazon things you want to buy, you can keep it all nice and organized. And you know how Pixel phones have some of the best cameras in the world? Well, it got a bunch of new features. Now, let's start off with video on the Pixel 9 because the camera has this brand new feature that you can turn on by tapping on the settings icon, and right over here, it's called Video Boost. Once that's turned on, straight away you won't notice anything different, but if you zoom in, like to the max 20 times zoom, it might not look too good yet. But once you stop the recording, you'll notice there's another version, and if you tap on this, you'll see this little notification that your video is being boosted, but after it's all done processing, your video will go from this really pixelated, fairly bad looking resolution to this much better looking video. So if you ever want to use Pixel Zoom, just make sure Video Boost is turned on. But if you're wondering if it's better than Samsung Zoom, then make sure you subscribe because I will be testing that out. Then back inside the camera settings, something else you'll notice is when you turn Video Boost on, you can now also turn on 8K video. Again, it won't actually be at 8K first. You'll need to give it some time to process and do its thing, but once it's done, you'll see it's turned your HD video into 8K and given it so much extra detail. And basically how this works is the footage is getting uploaded to servers and then processed into 8K. Pretty cool. But that's not all this camera can do because now it's got night vision. Okay, so you may have noticed in the camera this new night side mode here. And this mode is of course the one you'd want to use at night or if you're also somewhere really dark. Because basically, compared to normal photos, night sight can see a lot more detail, they're brighter, and you can practically see in the dark. It's actually insane at how good it looks, and night sight also works with video. So if you record something where it's super dark and kind of spooky, after you're done recording, just leave the Pixel to do its Google magic, and when you come back and open the video again, you'll notice there's so much less noise and it just looks so much better. But besides seeing in the dark, the Pixel 9 Pro is now also kind of like a telescope. And what I mean by that is if you've got a 12 megapixel photo and tap the edit button, then scroll to this tools section, you'll notice this new zoom enhance. And basically with this, you can zoom into your picture as much as you want. And if you tap the crop and enhance button, the pixel will start enhancing that photo. And after a few seconds, bam, it just has so much more detail. And what's also really nice is this even works on an entire picture, so you don't always have to zoom in. Again, you can just tap on the enhance detail button, and in a few seconds, it has enhanced the entire picture and given it so much more detail. Like, that's pretty amazing. The Pixel can also turn your photos from this to this with the tap of a button, but I'll show you that a bit later on, because now you just gotta see what this brand new 42 megapixel selfie cam can do. So straight off the bat, a little trick you can do is use this little shake gesture to quickly switch between the main camera and the selfie camera. But now that we're in the selfie camera, if you take a selfie, then open it up and swipe to see its information, you'll notice that it's actually only 10 megapixels, not 42. So what's up with that? Well, this is kinda a special 42 megapixel selfie camera because it combines 4 pixels into one, so 40 into 10. In short, it gives you way better selfies, even though it still only saves them in 10 megs. But a little trick to take even better selfies with it is inside settings, just turn on the selfie illumination option, because what this does is brightens up your entire screen when you snap a pic so that your selfies come out looking way better. Nice. But to take your selfies to the next level, you can now use the main camera. And to do this, you'll need to go to this brand new mode in here called Add Me. And how it works is super simple. All you do is get a friend to snap a pic of you. Then you'll notice that picture kind of stays in place and you can then pose somewhere else in the image, snap another shot, and just like that, you've got a next level selfie. And from my testing, the pictures look really convincing. So Google did a pretty great job with this and you can have a lot of fun. But speaking of Google, now, let me show you 4 Google tips to make your Pixel extra smart, starting with this brand new weather app. At first, it kind of looks like a regular weather app, but if you look closely at the top, it actually has this new weather report for the entire day, which is really convenient. Like, I might just get a thunderstorm today. But what I really like about this app even more is if you tap and hold onto one of these tiles, you can actually drag and rearrange them to anywhere you want in the app. It's simple, but it's really cool. Then for tip 2, I just had to show you this. If you swipe down on the notification panel, you'll notice your battery percentage right over here, but I bet you didn't know, if you swipe down again, you'll actually see exactly how much time you've got left on your battery. On to tip 3, inside the Files app, you'll find something in here called Save Folder. You just need to create a pin for it, and once that's done, you can actually go and select any top secret photo or video or docs, whatever it may be, and once you've selected them, just tap on these 3 dots and select Move to Save Folder. Then in future now, the only way to see those save files is to put in your top secret pin, and they'll be right over there, nice and safe. But to make it even more safe, if you tap on these 3 dots right over here, you can actually hide your save folder. It'll completely vanish, and to show it again, just tap on Show Save Folder. It is literally that easy to hide your super secret files. Then for the 4th tip, and this one's super quick, inside your settings and display, make sure to go into screen resolution and change this from high to full resolution. This way, the Pixel can use up every single pixel on this massive screen because, let's be honest, more is always better. So remember I showed you that your Pixel can do this to your photos? Well, it's actually super easy. First off, you just need to select the photo that you'd like to edit. Once you've got one, click on the edit button here, then tap on this little icon. And this is actually pretty hidden, but now if you tap on this little pencil icon, it'll bring up a couple different magic editor tools, and this is where the fun actually really begins. So with auto frame, this will actually generate a few different versions of the best framing possible for your photo, and it'll actually extend the background if it needs to. Next is the sky button, and basically this will auto detect the sky in your pic and completely replace it with a couple different options. But you can also do this with any type of water in your photo as well. So literally, if there's a river or the ocean, the Pixel will just detect it and give you a couple different options. Then there's also golden hour, which will overall just make your photo look as though it was taken right during sunset. And to really tie things all together, the portrait button just gives your photo this overall portrait effect. It brightens up your face and also removes any people that might be in the background. So I mean, it's looking pretty good, but there is still another thing you can do to it. And that's if you draw a circle anywhere on your photo, then tap this reimagine option, you can actually type in exactly what you'd like to add to your picture. So a flying seagull, for example, then just tap next, and again, in a few seconds, you get a couple different options to choose from. Like, come on, you gotta admit, that's pretty crazy, especially when you look at the before and after. Here's another pic I tried it with, and between the original and the edited version, as you can see, the edited one looks just as real. Now, this is probably one of the most fun things you can do with the Pixel that you just gotta try out. It's called Pixel Studio. It's a brand new app, and when you open it up, you'll see a bunch of different pictures in here that are sorted into different groups. But if you tap onto this create button, then type in something like a small alligator in a teacup saying tea please, and then change this option from freestyle to one of the other styles like sticker, for example, instantly it'll start generating an image for you and create a sticker based on what you typed in. Even though we've seen this kind of stuff before, you gotta admit, actually having this on your phone is super impressive. And what's also really cool is if you choose to share this generated sticker to your own personal WhatsApp account, once you've sent it, just open up the image, and if you tap these three little dots over here and tap create sticker, it'll turn that picture into a WhatsApp sticker. So simple. Or you can even create some pretty cool wallpapers and use those to give your Pixel a sweet look. But there's one more wallpaper trick that'll totally change the look of your Pixel. Okay, so this is actually a pretty hidden little setting inside wallpaper and style settings. In here, if you go into more wallpapers, then into my photos, and just select any picture you'd like to set as your wallpaper. Once you've done that, you'll notice the star icon that if you tap on it, will give you this option to create a cinematic wallpaper. And this basically turns your image into a 3D kind of picture wallpaper, and it just looks so good. You can also do this with practically any picture, which is so cool, but for the best results, I suggest just using a picture with a main subject that stands out from the background. Then for another quick tip, did you know that in your camera, if you whip any document in front of it, this scan option will appear. And once you've actually scanned the document, you'll see this little clean up button over here. And now you can just draw over anything you want to remove from the scan, like a coffee stain, for example, or even your thumb. It does such a good job. And I mean, this is just so useful. And for this next tip, it's super important. Inside settings and system, then software update, make sure that your Pixel is always up to date. Because believe it or not, this bad boy comes with 7 years of updates. So if you think about it, that's 7 more years of new features and more tips and tricks. So now that you know everything about the Pixel 9 Pro, do me a solid one and hit that subscribe button because we're on the way to 3 million, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Toodles!